Hi, my name is EJ Massa. When I was a kid, my parents would take me to Kenny Rogers Roasters, and I'd see the chickens turning over a fire, and I'd say aloud, Mama, Mama, why don't they do that with baby back ribs? Mama? And she would just stare ahead and pretend not to hear me. Well, now that I'm an adult, I can find out myself, and I thought it'd be fun to cook them on my Weber kettle grill. I searched on Amazon and I was ready to buy the official Weber rotisserie kit, but then I saw one from a company called OnlyFire, and it looked good enough to me, so I bought it. It comes shipped in an unbranded box, which is pretty smart to keep costs down. Don't have to pay for design if you don't have any design. The steel ring that goes on the grill feels a bit flimsy. A drop feels like it will easily dent it. Inside there's a box of odds and ends, including a simple one sheet of instructions that's in both English and German. For example, counterbalance in German is Ausgleichsgewicht. The word rotisserie itself comes from France, which roughly translates to spinny, spinny, tasty meat spin. It's true. Next you got these forks, and these forks have 4 prongs instead of the 2 that the Weber rotisserie forks have. Here's the whole spit put together. You have the plastic handle, a counterbalance, a roller, the 2 forks, and of course the pointy end. Which if I've learned anything from Jon Snow, it's
sticking with the pointy end.
In the box is the motor, and what intrigues me the most about this is the cord because it actually seems pretty long, and that's important to me. There's not really much assembly other than screwing in the motor bracket into this ring, so you can set up this thing in minutes. You just put the ring on the grill, place the motor on the bracket, place the spit in the square hole on the motor, place the lid on, and you got yourself a rotisserie layer cake. So ready to make some tasty meat. And yes, the cord length is very acceptable. Look folks, I'm not gonna jerk you around. I'm not gonna play games with you. I'm not gonna make a chicken first and then later I'll be like, oh, then we'll make ribs and it'll actually be beef short ribs. No, it's gonna be baby back ribs. That's the only way you'll learn how good any piece of equipment is. Baby back ribs. Let's go. And I got a nice meaty slab right here, which I'll season with my all-purpose rub as an initial layer, and then Killer Hogs the barbecue rub, which is a rub I haven't used in a while, but I saw it available at my local Walmart, and I picked it up. It's one of my favorite rubs. Perfect amount of sweetness, and it gives the ribs an awesome color. I'll be sort of dry brining the ribs for a few hours, so I wrap them up and put them in the fridge. Now here comes the tricky part, putting the ribs on the spit. It's not like a chicken where it has that hole in the middle that chickens usually come with, or a roast where there's a lot of meat to stab. You have to poke the ribs between the first couple bones, then make kind of an S shape by stabbing through every 3 bones or so, until eventually you have an inchworm looking rack which you'll hold into place with the forks. Tighten the screws and there you go, ribs on a spit. Filled up a standard Weber chimney, about 3/4 full of charcoal. Lit a wax cube and damn it, it's fine. It still works, see? Still works. And once ashed over, evenly divide the charcoal between the 2 baskets with some foil in the middle to catch the drippings. And place the ring with the motor on the grill and, oh, I almost forgot, a chunk of hickory wood. Carefully place the spit in the motor and had to realign that roller into the right place so it would turn properly. Press the on button and there it goes. Huh, this is very hypnotic. I don't think there's anything more beautiful than the movement of these ribs over the charcoal. I better put the lid on or I'm just gonna watch it until I starve to death. I placed the dome thermometer in between the 2 baskets to give me a rough idea of what's going on in the pit. The stock Weber dome thermometer is hardly accurate, but it's better than nothing, and it should give me a rough idea of where the pit's at. I set a timer for an hour, so I'll check on it and add more charcoal then. I also closed the vents a tad to keep the pit temp around 325 degrees Fahrenheit. The motor on this thing is very quiet. I don't know how it compares to the official Weber one, but take a listen. The outside breeze is louder than the motor. It's so quiet, I can hear my own thoughts, and maybe I need a louder motor. An hour later and the color looks awesome already. I love the color that Killer Hog's rub produces. Added 8 pieces of unlit charcoal to each basket so the cook can continue a bit longer. After another 45 minutes, man, I'm speechless. I've been to Italy, I've been to Greece, I've seen all of man's wonders, but they pale in comparison to these ribs. What I'm saying is, we should let the Parthenon rot. We should let the earth reclaim it, because it's worthless. But ribs, though. I stopped the spit temporarily so I could slather them with some Sweet Baby Ray's. Turned it on so I could access the other side and slathered that side too. Let that caramelize a bit, and after I applied a few layers, they were ready to take off the pit. Loosened up the forks and carefully slid the spit out, which when the ribs are this tender, it ain't hard. Not really a prominent smoke ring, but it's the taste that matters, right? But very good. Wonderful bite. Very juicy and meaty, and there's like a deep smoky flavor that's different than the usual low and slow smoky flavor. It's really complex. It's very interesting. I'll definitely make ribs that way again, but something lingers in my brain. What if Kenny Rogers was right? What if my mother was right to ignore me? There's only one way to find out. So I seasoned an organic chicken with that pork barrel barbecue rub I got from Costco. I like that it's very herbaceous, which is a fun word, and also is good for chicken in my opinion. Made sure to get the rub under the skin, and on the back, and all the nooks and crannies. And to give it a little kick, I have this Hungarian paprika, which is a half-sharp paprika. Most paprika you find at the store is a sweet paprika. This is like paprika with a little bit of cayenne in there. Adds a nice zest and of course some nice color to the bird. I used some butcher's twine to truss up the legs and made sure to cut off the dangles. You know how I feel about dangles. And like I said before, the easy thing about chicken is they usually come with this big hole in the middle, which you can easily put a spit through. Just have to slide the forks on and tighten up, and it's off to the pit, which is set up the exact same way as I did last time. Wow. Very tender, juicy. The skin is delicate. I love the rub. It's got a nice herbaceous flavor. I love the word herbaceous, and it's true, and it goes well with the chicken. This is perfect. Kenny Rogers was right. I never thought I needed a rotisserie. And that's completely true. I have so many gadgets and grills and devices to cook a chicken, but I'm very glad I have this tool at my disposal now. Where I started was, oh, what if I could cook ribs on a rotisserie? And where I ended is maybe I'll never cook a chicken outside of a rotisserie. I don't know how this OnlyFire rotisserie stacks up against the official Weber one, since I've never used the Weber one, but this OnlyFire one has a long extension cord, it's cheaper, it has 4-pronged forks, it has a quiet motor, and it made awesome food. So that's a recommend from me. This is what you have to do now. You have to go over to our other channel, RCE Pods and Clips, where you'll see lots of clips from the Patreon podcast that I do with Frankie Frayne. We talk about filmmaking, gaming, pop culture, and life. And then, if you like those, you can subscribe to our Patreon at any level. Kick us $2 and you get the access to the whole podcast. We sometimes go 2 hours. You can't really beat it. Especially if you want my opinion on other things other than grilled meat stuff. I don't know. You might think that's important. Until next time, bye.